Pop your headphones on if you haven't done so already. We're about to start sessions. Give me a nod if you can hear me. Great, thank you. So I'm Madhvi Mavadiya, Head of Content at Finextra, and I'll be hosting this session and the one after it. Welcome back, everyone, to the West Crypt at IFGS 2024. Hope you've been having a really great morning. So we've got something really exciting for you today, as we are about to hear from 6 incredible innovators who are implementing AI into their products and services. Over the next half an hour, each is going to have just 5 minutes to demonstrate their solution to you and share the potential use case for it within financial services. So let's get started. Our first demo comes from Yin Liu, who is the head of AI product at Cube. And just to give you a little bit of a rundown of what Cube do, Cube is a comprehensive regulatory intelligence platform. Its compliance management solutions help businesses to stay compliant in a fast-moving regulatory landscape. To tell us more, Yin, welcome. Come to the stage. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It's a delight to be here. Are my slides loading? Let's have a look. All right, fantastic. So Cube occupies a space of automated regulatory intelligence. And it's important to say up front that AI, since Cube's foundation in 2011, has been the backbone of the product. It's DNA. It's not an add-on or peripheral enhancement, but it basically delivers the core value that we deliver to our customers. We could not deliver that value at scale without AI every step of the way. So, what is ARI? In a nutshell, it's transforming that world of unstructured regulatory data into regulatory intelligence, which enables end-to-end reg change management. So we start with the fantastic world of regulation as it appears mostly on websites around the world. We cover every country and every jurisdiction from local up to supranational. Many document types, from blog posts all the way through to acts and in-force regulations. And the first step is we have to standardize against a common data model. That is key. That's the kind of midpoint of this transformation into reg intelligence. The other half is, of course, the customer data. Their policies, controls, and taxonomies. And the key magic of this transformation is linking that reg data with the customer data to make it as relevant as possible. That is the key. It's not easy, and it has to be with AI. So how does AI play a role in that end-to-end process? This is a pretty high-level architecture that summarizes the role that AI plays end-to-end. Beginning with the internet, lots of document types in PDF, HTML, image format. We begin with computer vision. We have OCR in conjunction with structure annotation. That then goes through machine translation from 60 languages into English. And that's where our fine-tuned regulatory large language model comes into play. It is fine-tuned for a variety of natural language processing methods, including document type classification, date extraction, summarization, etc. And then finally, the results are put into a graph database alongside classification results and customer interactions, engagements, and workflow information. And that will then drive the final pillar of recommendations and relevance. So, all that put aside, let's go into a very concrete whistle-stop 2-second or 2-minute demonstration of one document in particular. I've chosen a very difficult one for this particular day. So here goes nothing. This is a Saudi Arabian AML reg. So imagine you're a tier 1 global bank and you have an operation in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and you have to comply with local AML regulation. Website. Unfortunately, this regulation is not machine readable, as you can see here. It's a bunch of images with all sorts of symbols and stamps and boxes around it. So it's the most difficult and dirty, unstructured data that we've actually got. Enter Cube. First step, this XML is our data model. So it's the result of the computer vision processes, and it's a combination of OCR in this case with structural annotation. Levels, headings, it reflects the table of contents and the inherent visual structure of the root document. Then, in our back end, we will do QA. This is an internal interface. It's not customer facing, but you can see that each level, in this case, there's 4 levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, is rendered alongside the actual content that has been OCR'd. So we can do a human QA check on edge cases. And then, ta-da, it appears in the customer-facing interface in this way. The TOC with the structure on the left. On the right, beginning with the metadata fields, we've got some NLP results like document type and dates. And then if you unfurl, you can see the levels of that structure. There's 4 in this case. And on the right, the OCR'd Arabic text taken very cleanly and displayed right to left on the screen here. English translation available immediately as well. And one key thing is obligation highlighting. This is the part of the regulation that contains the rules that have to be complied with, and therefore we make it as easy as possible to access that via the user interface with simple highlighting. And finally, user actions can happen here. So, one more thing, tags. The classification of the topic, the sector, the type of obligation at that section level, or subsection level in this case, is rendered here as well. So driven by the obligations and the classifications, the user then has control. They can take sections and extracts from the regulation and make a group. And there's tracking of the lineage of the group. You can workflow the group. You can have history of all the versions of the group. You can name it, add your own description. You click publish, and boom, it appears in the reg group module, the subset of AML reg that is relevant to you, and it can be multiple regs as well. But the beauty of this is that the summary, this is the final step I'll show in this demo, GenAI summary displayed pretty much immediately when you make that group, completely bespoke to the sections that you have chosen with a 3-part structure, overview and key points, citations at the end of the key points. This is completely generated from scratch on the fly to correlate with what you have chosen content-wise to be put into the group. So taking a step back, what does AI at Cube mean for our compliance users? 3 key pillars. Amplified relevance, just getting the true positives alone is not simple, given all that noise, all that diversity. Then, of the true positives, can you accelerate the understanding of what you have to do to comply? And that's where the obligations and the topics and the classifications and the summaries come in. And the third thing is workflow, where the user engagement, the clicking and the tagging and the summarizations from the users and their comments and the actions that they make will help us learn and suggest people to review a certain update, suggest workflow items, as it were, and that's the last pillar. So end to end, we're connecting that regulation text when it's updated all the way straight through to alignment with organizational controls and internal risk frameworks. And again, all in the context in this example of a very, very difficult to read Saudi Arabian AML reg. That is the power of automated regulatory intelligence. That is the power of Reg AI. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yin. Now, quickly, on to our next demo from EvolutionAI. And as our speaker comes to the stage, in simple terms, it uses AI to extract data from financial documents. EvolutionAI's models are able to understand, interpret any type of document with pinpoint accuracy, aiming to set a new standard for automated data extraction while removing time consuming and laborious configuration and setup. Thank you. Here is the CEO and Chief Scientist, Dr. Martin Goodson. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Martin Goodson. I'm CEO of EvolutionAI. We are financial data extraction specialists. So we're mostly working in financial services, and most of our customers are in commercial lending. And they need to deal with lots of customer documentation when they're underwriting a new loan to a business. Normally, they're looking at things like 12 months of bank statements, might be looking at income statements and balance sheets, and some other documentation as well. So a typical installation for us, a typical deployment would be the fintech Uland, who are processing around 2 million pages of bank statements a year with our software. And we have really good software, really good algorithms that we've developed over the almost 10 years of our existence for extracting information from documentation. But our algorithms are not very good at extracting from financial statements. It's actually really, really complicated to extract from an income statement and a balance sheet. These documents are just too complicated to really do anything more than just extract the basic figures using traditional machine learning. And we don't really torture ourselves too much about this. None of our competitors can do this either. But it is really important to our customers that they can automate this extraction and comprehensively extract all of the information from an income statement or a balance sheet accurately and quickly. Because obviously the alternative is to do this completely manually, and you need quite highly trained and expensive resources to do this. You need financial analysts really to understand a financial statement. It's slow, it's incredibly expensive. So there's a strong pressure to try and automate this. So we decided a couple of years ago that we wanted to make a product that was really focused on this specific use case of extraction from financial statements. And even just finding the financial statement in an annual report, for example, so in this case, the example that I just showed you, those financial statements are from the DHL annual report. There's 237 pages in that report. Just finding those pages is non-trivial. So ultimately, our customers want to be able to calculate a number of ratios or other formula in order to do credit analysis. So just to give you an example, gross profit, it's sales revenue minus cost of goods sold. Now, that might seem like a simple equation, but to actually extract that information from an income statement is not trivial. Because, for instance, the cost of goods sold will not be found explicitly in an income statement. The analyst will need to try and figure this out from the line items in the income statement, what should contribute to its cost of goods sold. So if you're an electricity company, nuclear fuel, for example, could be considered part of your cost of goods sold. For other kinds of companies in different sectors, it's going to be different. So you need some background knowledge. And this kind of background knowledge, this kind of contextual understanding is really hard for traditional machine learning. So our solution to this is to combine our pre-existing data extraction algorithms, which are very accurate, but don't really have a good contextual understanding of finance, and large language models, generative AI, which have a really good understanding of financial analysis, different sectors, and they really understand financial statements inside out, really. They don't have a very good capability to extract raw information from documents. So we've combined them together, and this combined system can accurately extract the raw information, but also have a good contextual understanding, and it's able to actually figure these things out, like the cost of goods sold for an electricity company. So we've had a few challenges along the way. It's been quite tricky to solve some of these issues, integrating our pre-existing traditional machine learning algorithms with large language models. These documents, like I said, have a huge amount of variability. The language that they use is really complicated. And also, some of these images are actually really bad. They're bad in terms of quality. They're badly scanned. Some of them are multilingual. So there are lots of challenges around trying to interpret them. The other thing that was new for us was hallucination. So large language models, we've all heard about hallucinations from large language models, but we didn't realize how much of a problem this was until we started to really work with these systems to build this product. So typically, if you just upload an income statement into GPT-4, it will be able to extract all of the information, and it will look great. But it's only when you look at it very closely that you realize it's just made something up. It's just made up a number, it may have made up an entire line item, or it's mixed information around. It's actually, it was quite surprising to us. So we've had to work on specific algorithms to avoid that problem of hallucinations or to detect it when it happens. So we think we've solved these problems. We now have a solution which can extract, this is the example that I showed you, this is DHL balance sheet. We can extract the raw line items, which are here on the right-hand side. And we can also extract the information that we really care about for those ratios that I mentioned. So here we have the raw line items on the left-hand side and the final outcome that we're interested in on the right-hand side. So we have an early access program. I would invite you to please email me if you would like to be added to that early access program. We have a short waiting list. We expect to be sending out invitations in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, please get in touch. I'm Martin, and thanks for listening.
Thank you. Lovely, thanks. Thank you, Martin. Next, EyesClear looks to support finance executives in efficiently allocating capital while avoiding the risk that online finance inherently brings. It does this by storing transactional data files at scale and extracting information in real time. And to explain how that all works is EyesClear's CEO, Erkin Oksel.
Thank you very much. Can you all hear me? Yes, my name is Erkin Oksel. I am the CEO and the founder of EyesClear. We are a banking decision automation and real-time analytics capability. We were founded back in 2016. Before EyesClear, I was working for Citibank for many years. Actually, this project is the outcome of my personal frustrations because what we observed is that the banks, even though they had lots of data and all those assets under their control, they were not able to leverage them as efficiently and effectively as fintechs. So EyesClear was created to be able to bridge that gap. And we are founded in 2016 back in London, and we are live in 6 banks. We are processing around 85 million transactions a day. It's an on-prem system. We are primarily used by financial crime prevention teams, operations, treasury, so on and so forth, and it's expanding every day. So I would like to start with AI and ML challenges that my colleagues already referred to some of them. Real-timeness is a real challenge, especially if you are in a fast-moving space where you are processing thousands of transactions a second. The use of AI ML in that case, and I mean the systems learning and then being redeployed in that real time is quite difficult and not yet in the practical use. Second one is the reliability and the AI injection. Reliability is this hallucination problem. This is predominantly specific to LLM cases. The systems hallucinate. And if they hallucinate, if you deploy those systems, and if there are many transactions happening, it's really difficult to control them. And second thing that we noticed with our clients is AI injection, we call it. What this is basically the bad actors, if they notice that you are using AI, they attempt to dominate your AI infrastructure through providing some false inputs, such as making transactions that will be accepted by a user, and then later on AI, based on the user's input, is accepting those kind of transactions, and then the actual attack happens. And finally, the cost. I mean, AI space is now a compute competition rather than other, so it's becoming more and more expensive to be able to create sophisticated algorithms. To be able to do that, I think the best and the most diligent way is to use an existing one and modify it. The first use case is our control infrastructure in our clients. What we do is that within our clients, they have the operational systems, and over their operational systems, they have the AI ML infrastructure deployed on it. And in this AI and ML infrastructure, even though the success rate is quite high, time to time those systems do hallucinate. Time to time they provide wrong inputs, wrong outputs from the right inputs. And since the speed of the things have become quite intensive lately with those developments, our clients needed a control infrastructure sitting on top of that AI, which the users can basically deploy their own thinking, their own knowledge, where it's going to control the outputs of the AI so that the institution can control itself, can protect itself. And this is what we use in one of our biggest clients for a long time now. Before going into the second use case, I need to give you a little bit of brief on the retrieval augmented generation RAG systems. What RAG systems do is that they basically bring the LLM systems in a real-time domain where in a real-time manner, your documents or the transactions can be processed by an ML, and then they are being stored in a vector database. In that vector database, and everything is 1 zeros because like the machines don't understand the words, real words. And on the side, and this thing is happening in real time, and on the fly, if a user asks, for example, what are the cities in the UK, then this question is also converted into a vector. So if your documents are sitting in a vector infrastructure, And if the user's query is also vectorized, then it's simpler or easier for the systems to be able to respond to those kind of questions. This is where the real-time transaction processing and actual LLM systems come together. To be able to achieve that, you need an infrastructure which is going to store, create the transactional information, store them into a vectorized format, and then from that vectorized format to be able to interact with the users through the use of another vectorization ML. These red rectangles that I marked, it has to be done at the client level. As I said, EyesClear is an on-prem infrastructure, on-prem and cloud infrastructure, but everything is private. So if it's an insurance company, then this ML has to work for insurance contract. If it's a payments company, it needs to work with a payments contract. This is the way it should work. And this is what we are doing for our clients. Thank you very much for listening to us. Would love to hear your views if you have. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Erkin. So now we're halfway through our demos, and our next one comes from Hema Gandhi, who is the CEO of LatentBridge. Just to give you a little overview of what LatentBridge do, they look to make digitalization accessible to every enterprise, and its transformative technology platform empowers businesses to identify, build, and manage digital platforms using innovative tools like Gen AI, data analytics, and machine learning. Hema Gandhi, where are you? There you are. Tell us more. Thank you.
I founded LatentBridge about 6 years ago, and the primary objective was to make digitalization accessible to enterprises. So what does it mean? I mean, we all know that digitalization in today's world is imperative for existence, and I guess the adoption of AI is imperative for competitive advantage. And so with that regard, we have built out a platform, a SaaS platform, which allows you to identify, prioritize based on the return on investment use cases for AI and automation. And it allows you to implement, monitor, benefits track, all on one platform. So if you are set out on a journey in AI to be able to identify the right use cases and make sure that a year or 18 months down, it's giving you the right return on investment, this is the platform for you. And along with this, we have got a few solutions. I'm going to talk about one such solution, and we provide services to our clients. So Fetch, this is our fastest growing product and hugely in demand by financial enterprises. And what are we solving here? Enterprise knowledge, as we all know, is scattered. It's in multiple knowledge repositories from Confluence, Salesforce, ServiceNow, Outlook, you name it. And enterprises struggle to extract the information at the right time, right? So we are solving here faster time to market, better cost in accessing information at your tips. And it's all on the data of the enterprise. So I'm going to explain a little bit more. So the product is Fetch. It's the knowledge co-pilot, as we call it. It allows you to find the information when you need it, based on your own documentation in a secured environment. So without much time, I'm going to show you a demo of the product and then talk about some of the use cases that we have built out.
In the fast-paced digital enterprise, information is the lifeblood. But with data scattered across countless sources, finding what you need can feel like searching for a needle in a haystack, until now. Introducing Fetch, your enterprise's intuitive knowledge co-pilot. Imagine a tool so powerful, it transforms how your team works, boosting productivity and efficiency. Fetch harnesses the power of generative AI, revolutionizing how employees access information. No more endless searches, no more wasted time. It scours through disparate knowledge sources like SharePoints, emails, team chats, intranet, and more, delivering tailored results to every member of your team. With Fetch, you'll find what you need when you need it. Seamlessly. Effortlessly. It's like having a personal assistant dedicated to your success. Deep learning and natural language processing are at the core of Fetch's magic. Every team can have its own version of Fetch. From marketing to sales, HR, legal, and more, members can work more efficiently from a unified knowledge base, driving success together. With Fetch's compare and review capability, document analysis becomes a breeze. Upload your files and get instant insights into differences, similarities, and key points. And what about those hefty documents that seem daunting to tackle? Fetch Chat with a Document Wipe feature lets you pinpoint the exact information you need, saving you precious time. But wait, there's more. Fetch speaks your language, literally. With real-time translation, language barriers become a thing of the past. And with easy-to-set-up connectors, Fetch seamlessly integrates with your existing applications like SharePoint, Dropbox, ServiceNow, and more, ensuring no data is left behind. So, say goodbye to information overload and hello to enhanced productivity, increased relevance, and actionable insights with Fetch, your ultimate ally in the quest for knowledge. Fetch, where enterprise knowledge meets innovation.
Right, so as you can see, it's knowledge at your fingertips. I'm going to talk about a case study. This is deployed for a large European bank around their compliance and risk policies. Of course, as with any other bank, they would have information scattered across multiple repositories. We implemented Fetch for them. It allows you to document, search, and compare. Again, finding the information across multiple documentation between your policies, your regulatory changes, being able to contrast and compare, that was one strong feature that the bank is using for. Multilingual, I think we just saw in the demo as well, around 6 languages for that other client, but it's possible in any language that you want to access the information and get answers in. And the third most important feature is access levels. Being financial services, you want to ensure that your data and access rules are followed, the security is followed. So it allows the user to access the information based on their role. And what did it result in? I think the numbers are evident. It's a huge amount of time saving. And by hours saving, we are talking about a huge amount of cost savings as well. I'll talk about another use case, which we have done it for IT service desk. And here we have actually saved about 90% of the queries for the client, 2,000 plus applications, 4 different knowledge repositories, and the service desk time and effort has been reduced significantly by deploying Fetch within 2 weeks. So that's the power of the product that we are talking about. So if you want to move away from links and get information at your fingertips and get the answers that you are looking for within your organizational data and documentation in a secured environment, then come and talk to us for Fetch. Thank you.
Thank you, Hema. Just 2 more demos to come, and now I'm excited to hear from MultiplyAI's co-founder and CEO, Vivek Madlani.
Should we go get a clicker?
Yes, thank you. Multiply's aim is to make financial planning accessible by offering the power of a financial advisor to everyone. Give a big hand to Vivek.
Cool. Good morning, everyone. I'm very delighted to be here to be able to showcase some of what we've been building in the financial advice space. By way of quick background, we founded Multiply in 2016, so we're an 8-year-old AI company. We got FCA regulated in 2019. And we exist, our whole purpose is to help people achieve their goals and improve their financial well-being. The way we do this is by providing financial plans. These financial plans contain recommendations across up to 11 different financial planning areas. So everything from paying off high interest debt and setting up an emergency fund, all the way through to investing, retirement, life protection, and all kind of in one single plan, holistic plan. We used to be direct to consumer, so we served over 12,500 households here in the UK, and through the recommendations we provided them with, they opened 3,500 products. But where we are today is that we now license this software to help organizations bring automation and scale into the advice journeys that they then provide their customers with. And this can be either like fully automated, or it can be what we call hybrid, which is working with their existing advisors to provide that advice to their customers. We work with banks, insurers, wealth managers, advice firms, and now fintechs as well. So we've got 6 clients in the UK and Ireland, and that's rapidly increasing. And we provide these kind of white-labeled advice journeys through to their customers. And we build them in conjunction with these advice firms and other companies to make sure that they're consistent with their principles and beliefs and their product sets around how advice needs to be delivered. So like most people here, we've been on our own journey with respect to generative AI. Over the last 18 months or so, we initially started tinkering around and playing around with the technology, all the way through to conducting research. So I'd encourage you all to download our white paper that we wrote on the topic, but also building our own team around it. And where we are today is that we are totally convinced that generative AI will help us solve many of the challenges we faced when we were a direct-to-consumer company in terms of the product side of things. And what I plan to do today is to take you through 5 applications, very quickly, by the way, 5 applications that we are building out or have built that we are shipping into our product. And the way we approached this was really by thinking about what is generative AI good at. Basically, our thinking around this is that it's very good at extracting meaning from unstructured data. It's great at generating content, and it's getting increasingly good at having engaging conversations and serving customers on that basis. So here's our list of 5 features that we're building out, and I'm going to go through them quite quickly one by one. So in terms of document portability, one of the kind of highest drop-off points in what we call our fact find, so when we're collecting information about customers in order to provide them with a plan, was the point at which we'd ask them about the existing products that they have. And it was really painful for people to try and input data about their pensions or their existing investments or whatever it may be. And what we've been working on is training an LLM to essentially understand unstructured data from, it could be any type of document. So it could be a PDF, it could be a link to a website, it could be a screenshot, but essentially the categorization of that document into whether it's a passport or a pension statement or whatever it may be, and picking out the right type of data. And what's really impressive about this is that it can also understand graphs and classify products, for example, between defined benefit and defined contribution pensions. So I've just been told I've got very, very little time left, so I'm going to quickly go through the rest of these. So that's document portability, content creation, super, super important in engaging customers and delivering value to them over time. Also really important in terms of getting kind of referrals through to your product. So this is what it used to look like when we were a direct-to-consumer company. I had over 40% open rates for our daily newsletter. Where we're at today is that we can basically have our LLM agent scour stories on the internet and then tailor them for different tones of voice, but also tailor them for the different contexts of different financial planning areas. For example, it could be retirement or home buying. And then the next 2 features are really around embedding conversations into the product. So there is this really important part which is around fact-finding, collecting information about your clients. So on that front, we're using LLMs to go deeper in terms of the questions that they ask clients and be more dynamic. And that's what that is doing is it's helping us for a much deeper understanding around what really matters to clients, what their priorities are, what their preferences are. And here are a few kind of examples of that, and just making it a bit more, making sure the tone is right when we're having those interactions with our customers. This is an area I'm super excited about. So this is presenting the recommendations. So we have algorithms that generate a financial plan, but there could be a recommendation, for example, recommending someone to invest £2,700. Someone might not be comfortable with that, and we can now have that dialogue with a customer around what they are comfortable with and provide reassurance in terms of answering any questions they may have top of mind. And then finally, what we call our advisor copilot. So this is where we have our advice models that we build out, and we build that out in conjunction with advice teams and compliance teams. But then we're now learning off the back of any kind of edits or input advisors then feed back into the advice that they generate and making our algorithms even better over time. So there you are, 5 features in 5 minutes. If you want deeper demos of any of those and to find out more about our approach and how we're training these models, don't hesitate to get in touch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vivek. Thank you. That's almost it from our AI demos, but we have one more brilliant company to hear from. Xapien is a simple-to-use online platform that fully automates online research so its customers can make sound, fact-based judgments. And speaking from Xapien, we have Jessica Denny, who is their head of communications and marketing.
Hello, can people hear me? I'm being awkward and doing a live demo, so just bear with me 1 second. I'm plugged in. Great, okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. So we exist to answer the question, what does the world know about Just Denny or Innovate Finance? Well, why does that matter? It matters if you're a private banker looking to find out more about your client. It matters if you work in private equity and you want to find out about a potential investment company and the people behind it. It matters for anyone who works in risk and compliance. And why is it hard? Well, it's hard because that information, what does the world know about Just Denny, Innovate Finance, isn't all in one place. It's scattered across all sorts of different databases, internet and media content. And also, there isn't just one Just Denny. There are thousands. Do you want information about the cellist in Bulgaria or the Just Denny who works at Xapien? It's a really hard challenge to solve. So companies spend billions of dollars and thousands of hours researching to find out information about their potential counterparts. Our founders' big bet was that they could automate that entire research process using artificial intelligence, natural language processing, and vast cloud compute power. And that was back in 2018, pre-AI hype. They set out to enable any business to get a full understanding of who they're in business with in minutes, not days. And this is what they built. So all you have to do is log in via any web browser, enter the individual or the entity that you want to look into, a bit of context, press go. You'll wait about 10 minutes, which we're not going to do now, and you will get a fully automated research report that includes AML data, corporate data, sort of your core essential company details there. A lot of that is from databases. But our clients don't need information from databases. They need context and nuance. They need live, real-time internet data. Open source research is playing an ever-increasing role in decision-making. So we provide research. Executive summaries that include key details like when a company was founded, who its founders are, regulatory issues. Again, the questions that people ask these days are much broader than are they sanctioned? It's are they exposed? So we provide details like that. This is all our AI. As you can see in this case, Getty isn't sanctioned, but they might be exposed. but it's quite nuanced. So the AI isn't making the decision for you, but it's surfacing the content so that you can make a fully informed decision. For the avoidance of doubt, this is all computer AI generated, from data extraction to data cleansing and resolving what is and isn't about your entity, just Denny, not the cellist, and what is. That's before all of it's passed through another generative AI engine to create these written reports. Everything is fully sourced. I'm going to click on one to see. I think we're here. And any of these, you can see all the sourcing exactly there. And we have proprietary anti-hallucination technology because audit trails and accuracy are fundamental in compliance. We provide the holistic picture. So we show things like ESG, the positives and the negatives, because nothing is black and white these days. Our clients need to understand their counterparts in the round in order to make effective decisions. What I want to emphasize is that we're not just another data company. This is an end-to-end research tool, from the initial input to the analysis, triangulating between different data sets, researching what it finds, figuring out what is and isn't about your person, and writing it all up into a nice, neat report. Because it's that research and report writing process that slows down deals and frustrates clients. Our clients include Griffin, a fintech, who some of you might know, where they managed to onboard, using Xapien, 26 suppliers in a couple of weeks, because using Xapien, they drove down their due diligence time from 1 day to 10 minutes. We work with law firms like Pinsent Masons, where we're driving down their overall onboarding time from 2 weeks to a few hours. Again, this isn't a lookup tool or a data company. This is live, on-demand research on any company, any individual, anywhere in the world, in minutes, not days. If you want to get in touch and find out more, it's Xapien.com, Xapien, like Homo sapiens, but with an X. And I'm Jess Denny, so I'm Jess at Xapien.com if you need. Thanks very much.